I ain't got no money. I did go to AwesomeCon and I did walk around the artist alley looking for business cards that kind of jumped out and said, hey, look at my stuff. And I'm very sad to report in that I honestly didn't really see that many that were that different from anyone else. Most of the business cards I saw just had a name and the contact information and website and URL and all that kind of stuff. You know, standard format, you know, just name and all that kind of thing. Nothing that interesting. Nobody turned it on the side or used the back of it or told a story with their cards. So I'll just have to keep hunting for examples of cards that I think are awesome for you to kind of take inspiration from. I did talk to a lot of my friends who are working the artist alley in the dealer area, and the general impression I got was that this year sales were down for whatever reason. Now, if you decide to go on the convention circuit and you decide that you want to integrate conventions as part of your income stream, you're kind of rolling the dice. Now, it's true that I have friends who have made up an entire year's worth of income on one good show, but that is a rare exception, and that is not a reliable source of income. Some years shows go really well and everybody makes a lot of money, and then some years shows cancel a week before they're supposed to happen. So integrating the convention circuit as part of your income stream is always very risky. I do have an additional tip if you find that you're not selling well at a convention. If you're at a 3-day show and by midday Saturday you have not made back your table fee, change up your display, move your merch around. Something about what you're setting up isn't working. So change something around so that when people pass by your table again, they'll be like, oh, this looks new. It's not new, you just put stuff in a different place. But somehow that was the thing that caught that person's eye. If you're finding that there's decent traffic, but you're not making sales, and it's midday on the second day when I feel like you should have made your table fee back, change something around. Sometimes at conventions, the last day, there's a mad rush of people coming in buying all your stuff. And that's happened to a couple of my friends. They've made most of their money on Sunday when everyone's packing up and trying to leave. Do not rely on the last minute purchases. Try to change something up. Either the way you're selling things, the way you're interacting with people, or your physical display. So change something up. Don't just stagnate and keep the things the same. Change it up, change it up, change it up. But sometimes you just can't make money at a show. And that's the really tough part about convention life. You could do everything right. You could do everything right. There's no right or wrong way to table. But you could have everything set up. You could be set up for success. You could be very gregarious. You could be standing the entire time talking with people. The merchandise is in their face, all that stuff. And you can still eat shit on sales. That's the sad reality of convention life. And especially if you're tabling at a bigger convention like an AwesomeCon, it can be really tough for a new artist to stand out. And the problem is, a lot of these bigger cons are everything cons. Cons used to be a lot smaller, or at least very focused on their genre, I guess. There were comic conventions, literary conventions, sci-fi conventions, that sort of thing. And if you were an up-and-coming creator in any of those sectors, it was pretty good for you because you had all of these people looking for new stuff in one area, and you were there to sell your things. So the smaller conventions were pretty good to get a foothold into the convention life. But nowadays, there are so many cons, and they're getting bigger and bigger, and they're no longer focused on just one thing. AwesomeCon is what I like to call an everything con. It's got a little bit of everything. Got a little bit of science fiction, got a little bit of comics, got a little bit of wrestling, got gobs and gobs of celebrity signings and all that kind of stuff. Which is great if you're a fan, because all of the stuff that you like is in one place, and you can just go and check it out and get signatures and meet your favorite celebrities and buy cool things that are based on the thing that you like. But for up-and-coming creators and independent artists, that can be really sucky. If you want to meet a celebrity at a convention, there's usually an extra fee associated with that, whether it's like an autograph or a photo op. that's extra money. And if you're a fan and you have a bunch of celebrities that you want to meet at a convention, you're going to be saving up money to spend it on those interactions. You're not necessarily going to have money left over to go through the artist alley and find new things. And that's the blessing and the curse for these big everything cons. There's a lot of great nerdy shit all in one place. And if you're a fan of it, you spend your money on all that stuff. But if you're an up-and-coming creator, people aren't necessarily looking for new things. There are specific shows that I feel cater to new artists and up-and-coming artists. TCAF, which is coming up this weekend, it's the Toronto Comics Fest, and Small Press Expo in Bethesda later this year. That's very open and welcoming to new artists. But going to these bigger cons, it's kind of a crapshoot. They definitely get more traffic than the smaller niche conventions that focus on one type of thing. And in theory, the more money walking around in a room, it's better for everyone because there's more money for people to spend on new stuff. But that's not always the way it goes. There have been years when I've made twice as much on small shows than I've made at some of these bigger everything cons, even though there are a bajillion times more people at these everything cons. So if it turns out you're not doing well at a convention, it's not always your fault. Sometimes the money isn't there for you. Sometimes the money is there for the celebrities or the celebrity artists or the more famous people, and you're just, in the wastelands and stuff. It sucks because the bigger shows attract a lot of up-and-coming artists because everybody feels like that's where they need to be. Everybody feels like they need to be at AwesomeCon because that's where everyone is. Everyone feels like they need to be at New York Comic Con because that's where everyone is. Everyone feels like they need to be at San Diego because that's where everyone is. And it's true, there are a lot of people at those shows, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the money's gonna flow to you. So if you do decide to add the convention circuit into your revenue stream, please be aware that it is not at all reliable. There are gonna be good years and there are gonna be shit years, and very rarely something in between. Every once in a while you get a okay year, but it's either really, really good or really, really shit. My suggestion would be to start small. Start with some of the local shows in your area. It seems like there's a convention every other weekend now, and there's popping up all over the place. I guess we're a little bit spoiled here in the DC area because we have a lot of big convention centers and medium conventions and small conventions. So if you have like a niche genre thing, the DC area seems to be a great place to just start a show and see if it takes off. But try to seek out a local thing and start there. Go to those smaller shows, build your business at these smaller shows, build your network, build your fan base, and then maybe transition to one of the bigger shows. And a lot of times the fans from those smaller shows will follow you to the bigger shows and, build it organically that way. Don't just hop into a Otakon or hop into an AwesomeCon or hop into a San Diego Comic-Con and expect success right away. Your first year is gonna suck at a big convention unless you've worked your way up to it. So just be aware, the convention circuit is a grind, just like everything else. And it takes a while to get used to what works for you. It takes a while to get used to staying alive at a convention without falling over and regulating your eating habits, bringing the proper snacks and all that kind of stuff. Figuring out if you're the type of tabler who works best when you're drawing so that people will stop by and take a look at your stuff, or if you're the type of tabler who interacts with people this way. It takes a while. So try that experimentation on the smaller shows, figure out what works there, and if you feel confident enough that you feel like you can integrate this into your revenue stream, jump into one of the bigger shows. But start small, like everything else. Start small, work up bigger. Smaller shows, closer to home, so you don't have to pay for things like travel or lodging or any crazy bullshit like that. And you probably already know the affordable places to eat around you. So go local first before you jump into the big stuff. That's all I got for now. Don't get bummed out if you're not making money at a show. Sometimes it's not you. If it is you, fix your shit and get better at it. But if it's not you, but if it's not you, it's okay. You lost money, but you gained a learning experience. And hopefully you met some cool people around you, because it's great to commiserate with your fellow tablers. Like, oh, this year sucked. How did you do? Oh, it fucking sucked. Hey, what do you do? And you meet each other and hang out and stuff like that. So sometimes a financial loss can be a gain in something else. So meet your table neighbors, be nice, and all that kind of good shit. So good luck on the convention circuit this year. It's going to be ramping up. Summer is always busy. If I hit up any other shows, I think the only big show that I got coming up is San Diego Comic-Con. I don't know if I'll be able to shoot any footage out there. I'm definitely going to be taking some pictures. If you guys have any other advice for people out there tabling or getting into the convention circuit or trying to add conventions into their revenue stream, please let me know wherever you see this. I'm always looking for new ways to think about doing shows in the convention circuit and all that kind of stuff. And I might be trying to do more shows in the near future because I'm trying to, do more stuff with my artwork and all that kind of crap. So we'll talk about that later. But in the meantime, thank you for watching. Subscribe for more stuff and check out all, you know what to do. But thank you for watching, and I'll check you later. Bye.